All right. So hang on a sec. So it says put that cable into that red plug there.
What red plug? What are you talking about? No, that's goes the other green one, man.
Yeah, no, that's
What?
no, that's the one. Yeah, I can get the some.
No,
Okay, yeah,
you can hear me. You can hear me.
Yeah, we're good to go. All right, let's do it.
Oh my god, how long has it been?
Yeah, it's been a while. Welcome to episode 15 of Seeking Focus.
Welcome to Seeking Focus, a podcast that provides photographers and videographers with a place to critically compare technology, share ideas, and enhance their skills.
Mate.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
I think it's just been way too long now, man. It's I would love to kick this off a little bit more often, mate. But other things call. I don't know. What have you been up to, man? I don't know what's going on.
so we're recording now.
I think we should record, man. I reckon
Okay,
leave that
okay.
in, mate, because we've been lost for a while now, mate. We've been off the air for what, 4, 5, 6 months?
6 months. We
6
have
months,
been off for 6 months.
Oh, bro.
It's amazing how time flies. It
Yeah.
has been a
When you're busy
busy.
and family and work and
and life in
COVID.
general. Yeah, COVID was in there as well.
mm,
I actually bought a 4-wheel drive during that 6-month period. Going back to my roots, I bought a 4-wheel drive.
nice.
Yeah, and I've driven it twice in
Oh.
6 months. But I do occasionally charge the battery. I crank the motor over and let it sit there. But yeah, it has.
Who bought in new cameras?
No,
Oh, have I?
I haven't bought anything.
I've been buying drones, man.
Yeah, you always love drones. You're obsessed with
Working
those drones.
working towards the license now, which is great.
Yeah.
And
How hard is it to get a license?
oh, look, that's a good question, man. Look, in Australia with CASA laws and everything else, there is a fair bit involved. So at the moment, I'm learning about weather patterns and maps and I can't even say it. Article maps. What are they called? Anyway, just in general, just so many different things that you need to know, and you're learning about planes like fuselage and just sort of the route. Oh my god, I'm learning all this stuff. So you know,
Is it practical stuff? Is it stuff that you think you actually need to know? So that's one of the things that I've always wondered about. Some of these training courses, you learn stuff that you actually don't need to know.
Look, I'll probably say it's 50-50 the way I look at it now. It's what I can see is, learning about maps, which is good because when you're sort of flying, you can't really fly between 3 nautical miles of an airport, for instance, which is about 5.5 kilometers. But then you kind of look at the map and like you've got in Melbourne here, we've got Melbourne Airport, we've got Essendon Airport, Moorabbin Airport, and then you've got
Avalon.
yeah. So then you've got also a couple of other smaller helipads and other things.
Oh,
and
there's not a couple of helipads, like hundreds
I
of
know,
them.
yeah.
It's just like
But
everywhere you
it
look.
does
there's a
show
helipad.
you. So like there's apps that you sort of go look into, refer to, and then you basically can distinguish where the helicopters are going to be, the helicopter routes, high power voltage lines and other things. So it does give you a lot more information, but a lot of it is like also about planes and other things as well. This is just like, yeah, do I really want to know about this sort of stuff? I'm flying drones, not planes, you know what I mean? So yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. Oh no, that's a hell of a lot of learning. What else have you been up to?
Just work, man. Just really, I think as soon as the lockdown's finished, I've just been bombarded with work, and it's just been non-stop. My part-time job, my videography work, photography work, and
don't forget the stuff that I'm handballing to you now as well.
and then all the stuff that you're handballing to me now as well, because there's a few changes obviously happened in your end as well. So give us more information on that.
Oh yeah, so some changes is an understatement. So basically, just after Christmas, I was drowning in work, and I was working on a client's project. They had found out that basically I had a long history of working in the government sector at high level regulation and stuff like that. And so they made a comment, and they said, "Oh, would you be interested in doing some work for us?" And I was like in the middle of projects that I was working on video wise, and I was like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Not even a second thought. And basically that afternoon I got a phone call. We'd like to interview you.
Oh wow.
And I'm like, well, because it was just one of those knee-jerk reactions. Yeah, sure, whatever. I hadn't really thought about it. And anyway, I got interviewed and got offered the job the next day.
Just like that.
Just like that, which doesn't happen very often.
No.
And
Well, they call it now the big resignations, isn't it? The big resignation. Everyone's just changing jobs at the moment. Everyone's just getting new jobs, you
Yeah.
know, resigning this, that, you know what I mean?
And there's also a high level of unskilled, also skilled positions. You know, there's not enough skilled people to fill them. So,
Yeah.
so they found that what that I've done in past, and they knew that the quality of the work that I do. So they jumped on me, and I sort of accepted it because they made me an offer that I couldn't say no to.
Yeah, there you go.
So I ended up taking on a full-time job for a short period. Not sure how long it's going to last for, but it's meant to be a short period. So unfortunately, a lot of my video production photography stuff had to take a step to the side. And, you know, I rang up a lot of my ongoing clients and explained the situation. I said, look, you know, I've negotiated so that I can finish your work off. But as of from now on, you know, I'm going to have to put you onto my business partner. That hey Marty, how's it going?
Hi, that's me.
That's why you're drowning. You know, and a lot of them were like, oh, cool, okay, thanks for, you know, making sure that, you know, we weren't just left out in the cold. So they were appreciative of that. But there was a lot of clients who basically said to me that no, they still wanted me to do it, and I was like, well, I don't have the availability.
Yeah, normally
you know,
that happens, yeah.
You know, and they're like, oh, well, we'll make it work, and I'm thinking, yeah, what are you going to do at like 10 o'clock at night? And ironically, they don't have a problem suddenly calling me in the afternoon or the evening. When in past it was like, no, we need you to work 9 to 5, but suddenly now, because they want me on board, they're willing to, you know, do things during the evening or they're on weekends, which is unheard of, you know. But it's a good feeling knowing that they still want you.
That's right.
So I'm doing that. Also had a few family issues that emerged early on in the year, which made it a little bit harder. So trying to balance that, trying to balance family, trying to balance everything. It's been difficult, and that's one of the reasons I haven't been around. But in saying that, you know, I'm slowly getting back on my feet, and I'm still producing stuff for clients ongoing. And
It might be a bit of a time for a passion projects now, man.
it is passion. Well, the thing is, because I'm not taking on any new jobs, I'm only maintaining the existing ones for clients that who I've worked with for a very long time. It is probably going to allow me that little bit more time to work on passion projects, which is something that I really, really, really do miss, because once you get involved in business and it's all about business, you lose a little bit of that passion.
Yeah, you do.
You know, sometimes you're not looking at new ways of doing things because it's the same routine over and over. You know, you follow the same formula because it works, they're happy with it, and you're not really trying to find new ways of evolving.
Yeah, well, that's right. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I'm sort of, you know, pushing the drone component a little bit more, because it is my passion at the moment, and you know, like I enjoy flying them, and it's all about different sort of skill levels from, you know, FPV point of view / 2-way cinematic point of view. But now we're kind of, you know, trying to do something new as well, where we can live stream footage from drones as well. You know what I mean? And we're trying to cover a lot of, you know, like racing and other things, and rather than having a helicopter, you know what I mean, client paying, you know, $10,000 or $15,000 for a helicopter to be able to live stream an event, we can use 3 or 4 drones.
Yeah, and possibly also have ground-based cameras as well.
Correct,
so
yeah.
you get the drones, you get the base. So that's actually quite a unique sort of approach that you've done. I've seen some of your early work in that area, and it was actually quite interesting.
Well, the technology is getting better now, pointing to just like, you know, having the Blackmagic switcher and all that sort of stuff. We can stream, you know, footage from 3 drones at once to that one footage, and then obviously those new drones now have, you know, 35-40 minute flight times where we can, you know, cover all these different things as well. So there's a bit of a new, you know, adventure for myself, I guess, as well, you know, so that's good.
I was going to say, you're going to have to set up one of my RC cars with a camera and some goggles, and then we can send that out to...
Now, how much fun that would be.
I can imagine my car's getting run over. There's actually there's a video that you released probably about a month ago where you're actually teaching someone to do drone flying. You had your FPV there, and I had my RC cars. And I was driving along, you were chasing him with the FPVs, and, you know, the car flips over and you're right behind it, and there's all these different angles. really cool video. But yeah, that's available on our websites and stuff like that.
Yeah, it
and
would be. I
social
think
media.
it's on. I'm not sure if I upload it to YouTube as well, but yeah. Look, I think notes. I'll put this down as well, and people can have a look. But yeah, look, the FPV is so fast, and like even with your RC car, this thing moves so quick. 0 to 60, you probably do it in what, a couple of seconds,
couple
right?
of seconds, yeah.
So it's pretty impressive that the drone can actually keep up with that. Yeah, I mean, so.
Well, my car's got a top speed of 80, and there was times where you were just passing me by. I feel like I should go off and get a bigger motor for it just so I can keep up with a few drones. But but then again, I think the tires will tear off. But that was actually quite interesting. And the idea of using live drone footage and doing live broadcasts of it is quite unique.
Yeah.
So
it's definitely different. And look, it's expensive at the moment because we sort of looking at different components of drones and live streaming, feeding the video feed out to the actual controller and then feeding it out to the switcher and then obviously live streaming it through Facebook or Instagram / YouTube. So there's a lot of moving parts, a lot of people, and unfortunately the budgets are very, very high for these sort of things because you do need certified pilots. You need
insurance.
You need and in Australia, obviously, it's very regulated as well. So you can't just sort of send a Mavic or whatever else up in the air and then just do whatever. You know what I mean? So you have to have, just different certifications to be able to go onto certain grounds or whatever else as well. So it's just so much paperwork that needs to be done. So I can probably see why people don't do it. Technology hasn't been there yet, so now we're sort of exploring that a little bit more.
I remember when you approached me and you said, I need the switcher, and I'm like, why do you need the switcher for? I'm doing drone stuff, and I'm like, you what? It didn't actually gel with me. I was like, I couldn't understand why. And then I saw the video and I went,
interesting,
yeah, potential there. And where are you hoping to take it?
Look, at this stage, I don't know. We're kind of hoping to, in probably a couple of years' time, we're hoping to sort of get into that sort of Formula 1, Formula 2 maybe component. We do have a client that's interested in this sort of footage at the moment, which is we done one already at Calder Park, which is kind of a bit of a sketchy one, but did
you just drive into someone's windscreen or something? Or
no. So this was drifting, but because we're so close to the airport and everything else, it's a lot of regulations. But the next one we're planning to do is Winton Raceway, and then from that we're hoping to do Phillip Island Raceway as well. There's so many different moving components, weather. Regulations on the track, off track, like in Winton, for instance, we're not allowed to fly over the actual track itself. We have to be on the edge of the track. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because if something happens and you fall and then the
Correct.
car drives over,
so it creates something else, and distracting the driver and other things. So,
but even if something of the drone falls off or you smash it on the ground, the car drives over, it blows out a tire, and the high speed they go around the corner and have an accident. So the insurance part of it, I don't even think it would probably cover that.
No, well that's the thing. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like if we're gonna do this sort of stuff, we have to pretty much stay fairly high in the air. And fairly far from the actual track itself, so we might have to shoot at say 4K and then give it a good zoom to say 720p even. You know what I mean? We're working things out, so that's one of the reasons why I want to get my drone license now, my REPL license and my REOC license, and then hopefully in the future. So in Australia, the way it works is you got your REPL license, which is the basic license. Then you've got your REOC license, and then you've got EVLOS license, which is extended line of sight license, which is just like ongoing, money spending pit thing. But yeah, I'm talking probably too much about drones, man. Sorry.
No, but it's actually interesting because you see these drone videos on the internet, like they pop up all the time on your feeds and stuff like that, where you see a car doing drifting and smoke piling out everywhere, and the drone following it around and flying around it, and and I think that sort of popped up about 6 months, 8 months ago. Footage of that happening, and everyone's copying it now.
Yeah.
And you sort of think, well, it's fantastic footage. But then the safety aspect of it, and a lot of people don't put the safety aspect of it, because I mean, like I said, you can't fly on top of the track, because if something does go wrong, you're going to end up possibly blowing out a tire, then they're going to have an accident, and there's potential there for huge accidents. So
there's a lot of grey area, unfortunately, still, and we getting a big okay from the officials, from the actual officials from the racetrack. We're getting everything, all green lights from everywhere else. But well, look, we're still obviously making sure that we're doing the right thing by the law, you know what I mean, and making sure that we're not gonna hurt anyone, or obviously do anything that's
the drone goes into the crowd and takes everyone's eyes out.
Well, that's another thing too. Yeah, so there's a number of different aspects, and the whole thing is such in its infancy stage at this stage, where the drones and a lot of there's still obviously very bad sort of karma, kind of, a lot of people have that sort of, look at, saying drones are sort of still, a lot of people use them for spying and other things, and, all that sort of jazz, where, yeah.
But that's after hours when you're not filming car races.
No, I don't do that stuff.
But so the question I have for you, right, and I mean, the idea of having, live streaming drones and stuff, how many people are flying drones at the same time whilst you're live streaming?
So we're hoping to have about 3 drones in the air.
3 drones at one time.
Yeah.
You're also doing live cameras on the ground, or just...
Yeah, live cameras on the ground and covering pretty much the whole track as well. So if or potentially if traffic's on one side of the track, then we obviously having a steady camera, then potentially cut to a shot from above, looking down at the whole track from about 100 meters up, you know what I mean? And then when the cars get to potentially a different sort of area of the track, then we'll obviously have another drone hoping to obviously cover that area as well. So it's just, there's a lot of ins and outs, and then we're still trying to work things out, so it's going to be a lot of work for that.
The logistics behind it will be crazy. So 3 drone pilots,
and 3 spotters on top of that as well.
So you got 3 spotters, so we're looking at 6 people.
Yep.
How about the switcher and stuff?
Yeah, so there's 2 people at the switcher.
So we're looking already at 8 people. All right. Anyone else that's going to be... Obviously, if you're doing ground camera work as well, it'd have to be someone...
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. And I mean, it's if we're going to have ground cameras, then we're hoping to have stationary cameras. And then just basically leave them running all the time. And obviously plug them into a constant power to make sure they don't run out of power, because sometimes we can't get to them. And
so like a massive V-lock battery sort of thing?
Essentially, yeah. So that will basically run a camera, hopefully, for a whole day, literally, you know what I mean? Like we're talking about 4 or 5, 6 hours, you know what I mean? And then just switch to that camera when possible. Look, just like it's all in the infancy stage, so we're kind of still working things out. But like when you sort of tell a client, we need $10,000 for this sort of gig, they go, well, what is this money going to? But then we've got 8 people. There's 8 people potentially. 4 out of those 8 people, or 3 out of those 8 people, have to have proper licensing with drones. And then obviously you need spotters, and then just number of different factors that make sense.
But you'd also, drones aside and flying and everything aside, there's also the aspect of OH&S and everything else that goes with being on the track as well. So you've got to adhere to that as well. Do you need any certificates or any training or anything like that to be on the track?
Yeah, you do. So that's why you have to go through a safety meetings and other things with the track officials and track security, track police. There's so many different things, man. So it's just like, So we're just trying this out, and if it's going to work, then hey, it's going to be cool. You know what I mean? But there's a lot of moving parts.
I can imagine. You need a project manager and someone like me to come along and run the show for you while you're just doing your thing. So that's what you need. So
no, definitely, man.
When my contract's up, I'm happy to be employed by you. Yeah.
Come on down. I can pay you back.
It's fabulous. Look, we're keeping this segment quite short. We're just doing more of a catch-up, just giving people a heads up that we are back. Yeah. We're back.
Yeah.
And
we're hoping to have more people on show. Hopefully next week we've got a couple of big big production agencies in.
From Hollywood?
From Hollywood. Ooh.
Hollywood, yes. No,
Hollywood, no,
it's
we're
not
not going
Hollywood.
Hollywood.
Yeah.
Don't get too excited, Evan. No, look, but we're hoping to really, this is fun, and like I said, we enjoy doing it. Get together, a couple of beers, a couple of pizzas, and we just talk about productions and other things, I guess, as well.
I've actually got a couple of people who have been asking me, when are you bringing the show back? When are you bringing the show back? And we're like, when I get a chance to breathe.
Time. Yeah.
When I actually get more than 3 hours sleep at night, that'll be great. But I was actually surprised with some of the feedback we got, where basically people were saying that they actually liked the show. I was like, "Whoa, you like something that we produced?" But
if you're listening from anywhere else in the world, I think we should hear from you. You know what I mean? Like jump onto Instagram and Facebooks and whatever else, and give us a yell.
Yeah, we're actually we got regular listeners in Germany, UK, USA, Poland, I believe, is one of them.
Yeah.
Africa, we've actually had listeners from Africa. Brazil, we've got actually 3 different Brazil listeners. They're definitely 100%. It's actually, we're getting out quite far. I think we might even have someone from Tasmania.
Ooh.
Yeah, there you go. So we're really reaching out.
Tasmania.
So if you want to get in contact with us, you can actually look us up on our Instagram page. Do you remember the address? It's been 6 months.
It's been a while now, isn't it?
I can't remember.
Seeking Focus.
Podcast
and Instagram, I think it was, wasn't it? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was.
Facebook, we've got.
We do apologize, obviously, guys and girls. And if you are listening to us, we've been off the air for a while, but we are kind of hoping to sort of step this up a little bit, and learn more about video production, photography, and obviously gear as well. We should actually do another episode on gear.
Well, that was actually one of our most popular.
DJI released a new microphone as well, I think, didn't they?
Yes, so the microphone, the wireless lapel microphone from DJI.
That was interesting.
I've read reviews. I've been told about it. I haven't physically seen one. I've got to pop down to the store and have a look at one. Might actually speak to the video guys and see if they'll.
That's a good idea.
Send us one out that we can test out.
Discuss. Yeah, that'd be really good actually. And video guys have been obviously very helpful in the past as well, so we do appreciate that as well, guys.
Yeah. So they've always, every time we need something, we ring them up and they go, "Yep, sure, we'll send it down." And then the bill comes. No bill. They allow us to use a lot of their products to test and sample and stuff, and it's been really useful. So hopefully we'll be able to get some stuff happening in the coming months with them. But definitely that DJI microphone, that was really unexpected. But then again, they're getting really into their cameras and stuff. Maybe we can get one of their cameras in. One of the big, the new DJI cameras that have got the stabilizer built in.
Ronin 4D or something, wasn't it?
I'm not sure. Yeah, that's it. 4D. That's it.
That's been out for a while, I think now, but they're so bloody expensive. I don't think a lot of people will probably afford them. But
but you got to remember it's a stabilizer built in to a camera, so the cameras would cost you, and they got lenses as well. So you're looking at a camera between $5,000 to $10,000 alone. Add the stabilizer on for a quality stabilizer, you're looking at what, $2,500 to $3,000.
Yep.
So it brings the price up, and it's up there with not cheap cameras, but it'll be interesting to see what they're like. I'm not a huge fan of the shape of it. It looks a bit awkward.
Yeah, it looks like a duck, doesn't it?
Oh, I was actually thinking something from Star Wars, but one of those robots with the weird extension there. But until you've actually used it, you don't know.
Yeah, it's true.
And I'd like to get my hands on. I think they've got a test one floating around somewhere. We'll see if we can get our hands on one.
That'd be good. I mean, I wouldn't mind playing around with it. So there you go.
Yeah, so
definitely.
And hopefully we can do a couple of episodes, because one of the big requests that I've had personally from a couple of our listeners was they enjoyed the stuff for newbies. So So I'm hoping to bring on one of our listeners and basically get them to ask us questions live.
That's a good idea.
So as opposed to just sending in emails and we respond to one at a time, they can just sit there and
Well, we can do a Zoom call or something like that online.
Yeah.
Either way. I mean, they don't have to be in Australia. They can be anywhere in the world.
Yes, so if you're from overseas and you'd like to get in contact with us, we can do it over Zoom. We've done that in the past, COVID.
Definitely.
So, yeah, it'll be great to hear from you guys. And we look forward to bringing you a whole bunch of more juicy episodes.
Yeah, definitely. I think next week one or week after that, I'm not too sure, but we're going to try to get a few, like I said, bigger production agencies, and hopefully talk to them what made them tick and why are they starting and why are they sort of continuing on and how did they go through the editing and clients and other things. So it should be interesting.
And hopefully I'll be able to report back on my passion projects that I might have actually finally started
That'll be interesting too, that.
after thinking about them for the last 4 years and having done nothing about them. But yeah, look, it's good to be back.
Definitely.
And we look forward to presenting to you guys in the coming weeks again.
Definitely. And if you got any questions or any other things, guys, just reach out and we'll get back to you. Not straight away, but give us a day or so.
Or a week, 6 months. But yeah, we'll get back to you soon. Yeah, feels weird.
I don't know if anything else we can sort of talk about. It should be a nice and short episode. And I talked about my drones. What else do we talk about? That's it. I think that's it.
That's pretty much it. Yeah. I might get
Just a
four-wheel
good one.
driving. Oh. I actually bought a bicycle, a new bicycle.
Oh, new bike. What did you buy? Like electric bike? Oh.
No, it's an electric bike, please. Sorry, I'm very much about actually doing physical workouts. So electric.
So you
bike,
actually turning your
my feet as opposed to just turning the accelerator and taking off. No, but I've always been a cyclist, and you're also a cyclist as well.
I enjoy it. Yes, I haven't had time, but I enjoy it.
Yeah, I've got so many bikes I could open my own shop. But I actually finally bought a gravel bike, which is something that I've been putting off for a while. But I look forward to actually riding that one day in the near future.
There you go.
Someday.
I think you will. You got to make time, man. You got to. I think the whole thing about life is, you got to sort of do what's right by number one, by yourself. So if you enjoy riding your bike, hey, get out there and do it, man. Because no one else is gonna, like, if you want to create photography, then jump in the car and go for a road trip and do photography. You know what I mean?
How about this, right? We jump in my four-wheel drive. We'll put our bikes on there. We travel to Central Australia, and then we start cycling with our camera gear, and we produce a passion project in the middle.
Actually, I just did a shot for a client like that.
On your bicycle?
No. So what happened was, they've asked me, they're doing a bike ride from Melbourne all the way to Darwin, and they were hoping to be sponsored by whoever. So they just said to me, "Hey, can you just film the beginning of it?" Like, what do you mean? Well, then they go, "Well, we're gonna just walk into a shop and we're just gonna ask for a bike." I go, "Okay, that's ballsy, but all right, let's do it, mate."
Yeah, crazier things have worked in past.
Yeah, well, and it's quite funny because we actually walked into one or two shops and everyone was like, "Hey, welcoming. Hey, yeah, no worries. Just give us an idea. What do you need? And send us a letter, and obviously we can discuss it. We're happy." And there's a number of different bike shops that we walked into, and as soon as they saw the camera, they were like, "Hey, what are you doing? Turn that off right now. Turn it off." So we're like, okay. But look, different types of passion projects coming up all the time, and never know what's gonna happen. So it's good.
Definitely. Well, Marty, I'm going to say it's a pleasure to be back,
Mate. Likewise.
And thank you for.
Looking forward to a lot more episodes.
Well, we're recording in your studio today, so thank you also for having us.
Anytime, mate. Beer and pizza's always on tap here, mate.
That's the main reason I'm always here. Excellent. Well, Marty and everyone else out there, look forward to chatting with you guys in the near future.
Definitely. All right. See you soon, guys. Thank you.
Bye-bye.